Hey guys, I'm Dylan and welcome to K Cooks. Tonight we're gonna do a Chilean sea bass, roasted Yukon gold potatoes, a arugula salad with shredded parmesan, and we're gonna follow it up with some red wine. Let's go ahead and get started. This one's gonna go pretty quick. Everything has to be on the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the water boiling to get the potatoes started. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a wine for myself and my wife. It's funny, this was all an accident, but somehow I picked up a wine from Chile. And what better thing to drink it with than, I guess, Chilean sea bass. Why does nothing go right? If the camera wasn't on, that would have popped right out. Okay. Every time. Every time. Cool thing about sea bass is it's actually not in the bass family. It's a toothfish, and I don't know why they call it a sea bass. If you're not familiar with this type of fish, it's very flaky. It's a white fish, and it comes from the Antarctic or Chilean area of the Atlantic Sea. Well, this isn't gonna be ready just yet. I need everything to work out timing-wise, so I wanna get this boiling, get these potatoes started. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and make the arugula salad. So for the dressing, what I like to do is make the dressing inside of a separate bowl first. We are going to use some balsamic vinaigrette. It smells delicious. What is that? Probably a tablespoon of that, and equal parts a tablespoon of olive oil. Put that right there. Well, there you go. A little bit more oil than vinegar. We're going to use the juice of about half of a lemon. Make sure that you don't get any of the seeds in there, and squeeze as much out as you can because we want to have the lemon flavor. Acid is what's going to make it taste pretty good. A little bit of salt. Do like a pretty heavy pinch of salt. And then 1 tablespoon of Grey Poupon should go ahead and kind of give it some consistency. Go ahead and get a whisk and whisk this up a little bit. It's a good idea to get this mixed inside of a separate bowl before you add your salad or your arugula. The reason being is you might need to make some adjustments. I also like to add a little bit of crushed red pepper because I like the heat. So let's go ahead and try that and see how it tastes. Just use a piece of arugula. It's close. Let's use a little bit more. Pepper. For the red pepper, I would do just a little bit because you don't want it too spicy. Give it another little stir and then try it again to see where we're at. And that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. We could go ahead and toss this right now and then put it in the fridge. We are going to toss it and then throw in some parmesan before we serve it. I don't want the parmesan to get soggy. I don't want the lettuce to get soggy either, that's why it's going in the fridge. And we're also going to chop up some little grape tomatoes to go along with it and give it a little bit more consistency. In the meantime, I went ahead and started our oven to be preheated at 425. That's whenever we're gonna put the potatoes in. And there's our salad. So while I wait for my water to boil, I can continue the prep. That's probably not a bad idea. Thought about taking a break and crushing this glass of wine, but if I prep, then it'll set me up for success, hopefully, whenever it's time to put the Seabass in. So I'm trying to be responsible and make this as smooth as possible. My stomach is growling, I'm hungry.
I heard it.
We're gonna put that in another little dish on the side. If there's one thing that I like to do, is dirty all of the dishes that we have. It gives us something to do whenever we're not cooking. Do I have something with you? Go ahead and chop up a shallot. Shallots are one of my other somewhat favorite foods. I like them because it reminds me of a mix between garlic and onion. Sometimes they're really spicy, and sometimes they will burn you just like an onion, and make you cry. Go ahead and do the same with the garlic. Basically just do another fine dice. Sounds like I've got a boil going on behind me, so we're gonna go ahead and drop in these potatoes. Now normally we do a lot more potatoes, but since it's only 2 of us eating, I don't think we can eat more than 4 potatoes. You're gonna wanna boil those for about 10 minutes or so until they get, I guess like a parboil. I'm sweaty. Oh, and we got a baker boy that needs some attention.
What inspired you to do Seabass?
So I've been reading the Flavor Bible, and it has been a very much eye-opening book. I started reading it a few years ago, and then I got tired of it because I didn't get to the fun parts. You know, the first part is talking about like the different, what's perceived by the mouth, and I thought that was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Kind of knew a lot of that already. But then whenever you get through all of the, I guess, interviews that they do, you get into flavor matchmaking and building depth out of food. And that's when I came across their Seabass recipe. Actually, not even a recipe, it's just showing what all goes well with the Seabass. They have everything in here: beans, beef, Brussels sprouts, cayenne. I mean, you go through and find any recipe that you're interested in or any ingredient, and they show you everything that it goes well with. It's incredible. So this has been my Bible that I read every night. I read the Bible every night now. It's pretty cool. It puts me to sleep, and I go to bed and dream about Iberica ham and Serranos and shit like that. It's really cool. It was written by Karen Page and Andrew Dornenberg. Yeah, it's one of my go-tos. That's where I came up with the idea for the Chilean Seabass, and I was like, fuck it, why not do that? It's a great meal. Haven't had it in a while. Most of the times, if we go out for dinner at a steakhouse, it's the Seabass. It's a great date night. You know, it's like the fillet of the sea. What's your question? That's a great question. Toothfish is a sea bass. There you go. It's a 15 to 20 pound fish that is found off the coast of Chile or closer down to Antarctica. It is an overcaught and very desirable fish. That's why they increase on the price. You know, the whole supply and demand. Whenever it's cooked, it should have like a nice flake to it, nice and buttery. And tonight, we're going to pan sear it and then follow up with a pan sauce So our potatoes have been going for about 12, 13 minutes or so. You don't want them fork tender. You want to be able to put a fork in them, but you don't want them all the way done. You want them to finish in the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out of the boiling water. Seriously, if the camera's rolling, I'm a klutz. I don't understand it. So they should be about like that. Let's go ahead and put them back in the bowl. Olive oil. About a tablespoon. Everything is a tablespoon in my mind. I don't know. I'll go ahead and hit it with some garlic powder. We're gonna do about a tablespoon of garlic powder. Just kidding, teaspoon. And about a teaspoon of thyme. How's that? That looks like about a teaspoon, right? Yep. Toss it around a little bit more. And then I'm gonna show you a trick. So you get your pan and some parchment paper. But if you put your parchment paper on, it's always gonna roll up like that. You don't want that, so if you crumble it up, I'm sure you already know this. If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you learned something new today. Roll it back out. And it's perfect. I don't think that you can do a better job than that. Now we're gonna take these potatoes and push them down in the parmesan and put them directly on parchment. They are hot. We'll be all right. There we go. Just gotta switch hands. Okay. And salt on top. So I'm gonna throw these in at 425. It's gonna take like 15, 20 minutes or so. And that's the perfect amount of time to do the fish. What time is it? 9:11. That's perfect. Welcome back. If you are still with us, I hope you poured yourself some more wine. I did. I go with the cheapest wine possible, and it was good. That was a good one. Anyways, the skillet behind me is already preheating. I have dried off my toothfish or sea bass, and you're gonna go ahead and salt it. Go ahead and salt it and pepper it. This is pepper. That's wine. About like that. How's that look? All right. You can come over here. Okay, so I've had my pan preheating. The best way to make sure that it is ready, you drop a little bit of water and it should bounce around like little water balls. So now that my pan is dry, it's at the temperature I need. We're gonna go ahead and add some avocado oil and go ahead and put quite a bit. It should not be smoking. You don't want it to be smoking, but you should have it shimmering. Unfortunately, I did accidentally get it too hot to begin with, so I had to cool it down. We're gonna go inside down and let those sit. Make sure you're making good contact on all parts. 5 minutes, undisturbed. And we have the hood vent going, so it's gonna be a little bit loud, but we're trying to get any of the smoke out. All right, guys, so we are cooking. It's looking pretty good. We wanna go, like I said, about 5-6 minutes. A few tips that I could give you whenever you are getting your sea bass is to ask when it was brought in. You don't want anything that's been brought in a few days ago. Usually whenever they bring it in, it's already frozen. Which is great because then they thaw it out. But you don't want like a fishy smell, and you don't want too much because it's not a very good fish to use as like a leftovers. So it's good to get only what you're gonna eat that night. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and flip. Make sure to burn the skin. Let it continue to cook. Turn the heat down. So one of the things that we have noticed about this cooktop or oven is there's no chill. There's absolutely no chill. It gets hot. So while this is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and pull the potatoes out. Can you breathe? Ooh. I think it's time to pull them off. We're gonna go ahead and take them off and set them off to the side to continue to cook and rest. But that's what you're kind of looking for on the top. They should not fall apart. It's still kind of jiggly. That's fucking perfect. That's looking good. All right. So I went ahead and reduced the heat. I'm gonna let it come down a little bit more. Maybe let's take that off for a minute, because like I said, our oven runs really, really hot. Just take it off for a second, kind of let it cool down a little bit, because I'm about to deglaze with the white wine. We can go ahead and cook the shallots. And the garlic. And again, I took the heat off because it does get very, very hot. Our stove cooks hotter than usual. Right now you're wanting to get about to right there. It should be fragrant. It should be basically caramelizing the shallot. And we're gonna go ahead and deglaze with some white wine. About a third of a cup. And go ahead and kick that heat back on. I'm gonna put it at low, and I'm gonna grab a wooden spoon to push off any sort of the brown bits and get a proper deglaze. This smells really good. I'm gonna put a little bit more wine. Cheers. Okay, so you wanna reduce the wine by about half of what you've poured in. We're getting pretty close. As soon as I start to see the wine and the shallots change colors, that kind of tells me that we're ready to move on to the next step. So at this point, we've reduced the wine, and we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of water. Put it back on the heat, bring it up to a boil. During that time, we can go ahead and add our lemons, or lemon juice, and the lemon zest. So again, try not to get any of the seeds inside there. You don't want to chomp down on one of those. Nobody likes to do that. We're gonna go ahead and add the zest of this half of a lemon. Crank up the heat, let's bring it back up to a boil and kind of cook that down. This is gonna turn it into a pan sauce for our sea bass. Okay, we're getting somewhere, but I want it a little bit thicker. We've greatly reduced our wine and the water, scraped up all the brown bits. We are on our way to making a beautiful pan sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill the heat, and you wanna put in cold butter. It should not be room temp, it needs to be cold. That helps it not separate whenever you're mixing it all together. I'm gonna go with about, what is that? A tablespoon?
Like
2 tablespoons of butter. Whisk it around. Again, turn your heat off. You don't want to burn the butter. You don't want to continue to cook the garlic. You don't want to continue to cook the shallots. You want it to all kind of come together. I'm using the wrong utensil for this. I'm gonna use a whisk. That's what I was looking for, not a spatula. Go ahead and start whisking it together. And this is going to create your pan sauce. We're gonna have a sweat over here.
Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying, I'm sweating. Whisking is a lot of work. But making that great pan sauce, it's worth it. You have to just Sometimes you just gotta fucking whisk and whisk and whisk and whisk and reduce. Guys, we are so close. It's still a little bit too runny, but you hit like a plateau of where you don't think things are going your way. And everything around you sucks. It sucks sometimes, like, cause you're like, oh, I'm trying so hard to do something, or I'm trying to get to a certain point, and you want to give up. And for a minute there, I wanted to give up and do a different kind of whisk, or not a whisk, a different kind of sauce. I thought I ruined it. But perseverance and persistence is key. Like, I could have given up. But then we wouldn't have gotten this. Like, we're so fucking close. That looks like a pan sauce. All right, so then we're gonna go ahead and toss in that chopped up parsley and create an amazing pan sauce. All right, let's plate it up. Okay, we're gonna continue. We are in the final stretch of getting our Chilean sea bass with potatoes and arugula salad done for the night, and I'm freaking hungry. The wine might be getting to me. I don't know. So go ahead and plate it up. There we go. Throw on a little bit of parm. Our potatoes look incredible. They've got a nice crust. Everybody is infatuated with the crust or doneness of something. There you go. Our sea bass also looks delicious. Go ahead and plate. I'm so damn excited. And here's the pan sauce. It's still hot. Go ahead and put that on top. And I think we are ready. Are you ready to eat? We're ready to eat. That's what we did tonight. A little bit of pepper on the salad. And I think we're done. I think that is our meal for the date night. You ready to try it? There you go. Cheers. What do you think?
It's really good.
Yeah? Okay. He's a Seabass. You know where that's from? No? That was worth it. It was really good.
It's really good.
Okay, this is Dylan signing off. We got sweaty. We cooked some sea bass. We drank a whole bottle of wine from Chile. Anyways, Auf Wiedersehen. God.